uninformed, misogynistic, communist, and hate. These are just 5 of the many choice words my next 2 guests use to describe Republicans and Democrats. They are 2 Texans, one who currently holds a Democratic office and another running a Republican campaign.
Make America great again means to go back to the time where white men were supreme and women were not.
Democrats are systematically destroying America. They even stole the election in 2020.
Republicans are angry because they believe immigrants are taking their jobs. And if immigrants can actually take their jobs, then they're actually lazy.
Our Democrat adversaries are nothing but proliferating the Marxist agenda here in America.
Republicans look at women as second-class citizens. They want women to be no more than farm animals.
Democrats are firmly in belief of an open border policy that has brought more than 10 million invaders.
Republicans are morons. They are following a leader who is an adulterer and is now selling Bibles to them for $60.
If Democrats have their way, they will destroy America and our way of life.
Republicans cannot run this country.
Well, joining us now are Andy Harper, who is a Republican candidate for Texas House District 64, as well as Delia Parker Mims, who is the Denton County Democratic chair here in Texas. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
You two have been listening to everything that we've been talking about so far. I'll give you the floor first. Anything you'd like to add before I even ask a question?
Well, first of all, let me just say that I am tough enough to be sitting here with these conservatives and not be intimidated. It does not bother me that we are skewing this in that direction. Let's go.
Well, we're going.
Great.
We're going. What would you like to say?
Well, a couple of things. So the First Amendment no longer exists for women because we don't have a right to privacy. We're no more than farm animals. We can't make decisions for our own health care. And then we mentioned about universities. Of course, universities are areas that are typically liberal. In my town, I will say this. The elections are stolen, you're right, because in the state of Texas, Greg Abbott has redistricted all of the counties so that we really aren't gonna win any elections. So when you have a street that's got 100 Democrats and you break it up into 4 different voting districts, that means Democratic power will not, you will not be able to exercise your power. So if Mr. Harper were to come out of this primary a winner, he's basically pretty much guaranteed to win because the elections are in fact stolen. And the only way we can get beyond that is to start voting in the primary. So I encourage Republicans who are not maggots to vote in the primary.
Maggots?
So that we can have more people to choose from who are not extreme.
What's a maggot?
Okay.
Oh, I mean maggots.
Oh, okay.
Okay. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great. So one of the things I would say is reviewing the Democratic Party platform and the Republican Party of Texas platform, there are substantial differences, right? There are significant ideological differences. And I think we really need to start there. And that's where I talk to people about, and I try to incorporate the idea that the Republican Party platform mentions the word God 19 times. It begins with the idea that rights originate with God, and it is the duty of government to defend our rights. The Democratic Party platform objectively starts off with the idea that it's the job of the government to keep us safe, that the word God is not mentioned at all in the Democratic Party platform. The word safe or safety is mentioned 64 times, and the word healthcare is mentioned 55 times. So the idea that the platform of the Democratic Party should be to provide free things for people rather than to retain the rights of men is a profound difference. And I think that's where we really need to start when we talk about where we end up.
Yeah, I would disagree that it's to provide free things for people. That's a narrative that you guys have created. But I mean, you can say that the platform, your platform mentions God multiple times.
I mean, when you mention inalienable rights, and you're at the very, I think the 3rd page of the platform, it talks about here are inalienable rights: right to health care, right to public education, right to privacy, not right to bear arms, not right to free speech, not right to assemble. not right for the state sovereignty.
Yeah.
The word state sovereignty is mentioned in the Republican platform 19 times. It's
Right.
never mentioned in the Democratic platform.
And the reason why I think mentioning healthcare is important because unlike you gentlemen here, as a woman, I don't have the rights to healthcare that you do. I don't bear that privilege. So
But
you're
thank-
exactly right.
but
The
thankfully-
difference is the Democratic Party is working toward the individual. But in terms of saying, well, my party mentions God, I'm glad you brought that up. I am a Christian and a lawyer. I wholeheartedly believe that there's a separation of church and state. And it's weird to mention God while you praise the adulterer, whether it be Ken Paxton, your endorser, or whether it be Donald Trump, which is actually in the Ten Commandments.